Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play and initial impressions for Modules VR, a free-to-play app art project experience that was released on the Steam store today, May 3rd, 2023. It is free-to-play. I'll put a link on this video. We can download this app for free. It is art, though, for VR. And I do recommend this. I've really enjoyed it, but there are some issues you should be aware of. The biggest issue is optimization. I'm on an RTX 3080. This is on the Unreal Engine, and I'm getting variable frame rates from like 60 to 67 in that range frame rate. So I'm not getting a steady 90 frames per second for sure. It seems to fluctuate between 60, 67, around there, pretty consistently between that range. So keep that in mind. It did not bother me, though. I'm a VR veteran, so that kind of stuff really doesn't bother me, but it might bother some people. And for me, it really didn't affect the experience, so keep that in mind. It is free. If you're interested in this, I would say stop watching the video and just download it for yourself. It is teleport only. You do have snap turning. And like I said, the optimization isn't the best. That's what you should know before downloading. But if you're okay with all that, then this definitely, I think, is something you should download. This is very interesting art. It does have these audio tidbits. Let's actually just, you know what? Let's do something. No, you know what? Let's just go from the start. So let's start with room 1. So this is room 1. It does have audio narration.
So the project started.
There is this little black line, though, that kind of goes along with the audio. We're not going to listen to all this, though.
Not modules.
So
And I started it in
this is actually a big project, and this artist plans to add more modules to this experience. So right now, there's 11 rooms, and they all have like a common theme of spaces, circles, spheres, black and white, motion, light and shadow, impossible architecture. And I really like this experience. I really do. But I would say besides the optimization, I would say there's no graphical options, and I do notice jaggies and just it's a little blurry. So it's not as crisp and clear as I would like. And obviously I can go into my Oculus tray settings and, increase super sampling that way to try to make it look clearer. I haven't done that, but that's possibly one way to fix it. I don't know if it would, but that's one way. But I do know by default, just without messing with anything out, with Oculus and tray settings. Like I said, there's no game graphical settings. So within the game, you cannot improve this. So this is the default, and I do think it's a little bit blurry. And I would like to have sharper, crisper graphics because I think the art is great. But being a little bit blurry, not having a little bit of jaggies, the anti-aliasing could probably be improved, super sampling, but I think it needs a better, crisper visual experience to really enjoy the art as intended, because I think that's the one thing that's holding it back. I'm not going to show the whole art project installation, so that's why but I kind of want to show this one a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's click on the audio here so we can hear the artist.
In this space, it's some kind of dialogue. I really wanted to make not encapsulated experiences in each room, but something where rooms are connected to each other. Something that we can see the next object. We can see what is going on there, standing here. So, and that's how I started to make this wonderful spatial dialogue between room number 2 and room number 3. And it was quite interestingly to synchronize and to play with this.
We're not going to spend a whole lot of time here because there's other stuff that I want to show. And like I said, I don't want to show I don't want to spoil the whole experience. So I just wanted to show some of the rooms. And I have to say, I really, really did enjoy this experience, this art experience. This artist does plan to add more modules, more clusters, as he calls it, which are just different types of art experiences. This has, like I said, a theme of spaces, impossible spaces, spheres, black and white, whereas the other clusters will have different themes. Not like this. And he might add to this installation. And there's many clusters, many projects in the future planned to be added to this. So this is going to be like living, breathing art, where the art just changes over time, and even some gamification of this experience is planned by the developer, and some social aspects. The one thing I would ask this developer to do, if possible, is to add online multiplayer in the future. I hope that's in the plans, because I think this is something that people would want to share with their friends, family, loved ones. You could experience this art together, and I think that would really make it something special. So, online multiplayer where you can, talk with your friends and just explore the art world together. Maybe some meetup times where, like schedule a day where it's open and, people are supposed to come together and just enjoy the art as a group, maybe with a guided tour. And I think that would make this even something really, really special and more personal than it is currently, as a solo experience right now. Let's keep going, because like I said, I don't want to spend too much time, and I don't want to spoil the whole experience. So I'm kind of trying to show as much as possible, but without spoiling the whole thing as well. But this is what I really wanted to show here. So get ready. This is something else. This blew my mind.
Okay, so
this developer is really pushing the envelope here.
Could be dangerous because
not really,
it will
but
be life turning moment, and kind of your mind turning moment, and your body turning moment. And some people scream a lot. Some people try to fall in reality. And some people just tell that, okay, so it's enough for me. Let's talk about some different stuff. But we played a lot and tried to find what actually is the medium of virtual reality, what we can tell, what we can use, or what we can't use because it's too dangerous or too crazy for people to experience. And we kind of decided to keep this thing here because it was a lot of experiments. Wow, where we went too far, so we decided to cut them out, but we kept this one. And again, it's about spatial composition. We had previously we had really calm space.
Okay. So this is what I would tell the developer. There's no such thing as too dangerous in VR, not in my opinion. And I would say push it as far as possible. Push the envelope as far as possible. Now, some people are not going to be able to handle something like this. And I would tell those people, it's okay, not every experience is for every person. Some people do get motion sickness. And that's fine, People have different makeups, Different people can do different things. Some people can handle some things. Some people can't handle other things. There's a wide spectrum of people. But I think as an artist, you shouldn't really ever hold back on your artistic calling, on your vision. Me, I like being pushed all the way to the boundary. To me, you can't go too far. There's never a point where you can go too far in VR for me personally. I can handle it. And to those who can't handle it, I feel sorry for it because they can't experience everything that I can. But that shouldn't mean that, I get held back due to some people not being able to handle it. It's unfortunate. I love VR and I think VR is for everyone. But not every experience in VR is for everyone, and that's okay, there should be no gatekeeping of any kind from either side. If there's an experience where you can somehow make it, so allow more people to experience it, great. But don't compromise your vision because you think that some people won't be able to handle it, so I'm going to hold back. And that's what I don't want to see in VR. I think a lot of developers do that. They hold back, and so they end up making an experience that's not as good as it could have been due to being afraid of pushing the envelope. Personally, I think this is great. Let's do it in reverse. So we're going to get back on, and we're going to do it in reverse. I like this experience. I really liked the composition of this. It really, you just have to be here in the 3D space. This is the magic of VR, where you can be in impossible spaces, doing impossible things. But, at the end of the day, you're perfectly safe. This is not dangerous at all. But you're experiencing something that you could not experience otherwise. And that's what makes VR so special. You could try to replicate this in 2D gaming, in pancake gaming, but it's just not the same. You really need VR. For those of you who don't have VR, I would say, you need to join VR so you can experience stuff like this that you just can't experience in 2D gaming. I don't know why if you're a 2D gamer, please understand this is the magic of VR right here. And it doesn't mean that you don't 2D game anymore or that there's no space for 2D gaming, but you do get to experience stuff like this that's just not possible in 2D, in pancake gaming. And I hope that you understand that. Now, I know that there's a cost to VR and not everyone can afford it, and I get that. I grew up pretty poor myself, so I definitely know what it feels like to not be able to afford stuff. And that's fine.
I spent a couple of months to animate everything by my hands, and then I rendered everything, and it became part of my field. Only one point of perception, only one highly directed camera, which gave.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. I really like this room as well. Now, I was mentioning that, not everyone can afford VR, and, I understand. I hope VR in the future becomes more affordable so more people are able to participate, and money is not an object as far as VR gaming in the near future. But definitely, if you can't afford it and you just been reluctant, I would say go ahead, especially if you love art, because I think this is really the new medium for art in the future. If you want to see new art that nobody has ever experienced before, then you need VR. And this is what makes PC VR the best. People can talk about the Oculus Quest standalone. If something like this was on the Quest standalone, the artist would have to compromise their vision totally for the Quest. So, I have obviously, you guys know I have a MetaQuest 2. I have no issues with the MetaQuest store. But PC VR gaming is where it really is at. I like that the Quest has brought a lot of new people to VR. That's great. And there's very good experiences on the MetaQuest 2. I'm not trying to say it's horrible. But what I am saying is that if you want to be at the forefront of VR, then it's PC VR. It's not PSVR 2. It's not Quest. It's PC VR. PC VR is where they're always going to be pushing the boundaries of what VR can do. I think that the thing about Meta is that a lot of the experiences there are tailored for casual gamers. Comfort is a really big issue on MetaQuest 2. You're not going to have a lot of experiences there that really test the limits of what you can handle. Now, I don't experience motion sickness, so I can handle anything. So I like my boundaries being pushed, but I understand that's not everyone, and that's fine. But if you want to be at the forefront of VR, if you want to see the future of VR gaming, then it's PC VR. No doubt about that. I hope that y'all can tell the spatial audio. The spatial audio here is great. And we're going to check out one more thing, and then we're going to quit, because I don't want to make this a long video. I want you guys to basically just download this for yourselves and experience this in VR for yourself, rather than watching this video. But here we go. And you can climb up and just see the difference in perspectives. I have an idea for this. I don't know if it'll work, but if they could add zero gravity to this, where you can kind of flip the room and just see it from a different perspective, or from there. Again, with zero gravity, I think that would be really awesome. I don't know if that's possible, but that's something that I would like to see personally. Zero gravity, I think here would really work really well. And you can just kind of push yourself to one side of the area versus another, and where gravity's not limiting you and your perspectives. And obviously, full locomotion, smooth turning would be awesome as well. Better performance, optimization, and for it not to look as blurry as it currently does. I think I would say number one thing is fix the blurriness, at least on the Meta Quest 2 using link cable. I don't know if other VR headsets are also blurry, but I can tell you that on my Meta Quest 2 using link cable experiences on an RTX 3080, it does look quite well. I don't want to say it looks very blurry, but it looks noticeably blurry. Let's put it that way, especially at any kind of a distance. You really have to be up close. A little bit of jaggies. And I would say that's the biggest thing that would need to be improved for this experience too. Because you want to get the best visuals for this artwork, because the art is amazing. These impossible spaces are amazing to me personally. And you can hear the sound. The spatial audio is great. It really is. You can hear, you hear that? Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This is Modules VR. It's a living, breathing art project that this developer is promising to add different clusters, different art type projects, and add different, he talks about gamifying this and adding social aspects to it as well. Like I said, online multiplayer would be high on my wish list. But Modules, highly recommend it. I'm not going to rate it because, like I said before, I think rating art is kind of useless. Either the art speaks to you or it doesn't, and I don't think there's any right or wrong answers as far as art is concerned. All I can say is that I enjoyed it a lot, but there are some technical aspects that I'd like to see improve. Like I said, number one, just sharper, clearer visuals. Some graphical settings for this would be wonderful. Full locomotion, smooth turning, zero gravity, online multiplayer. But thank you to the developer and thank you to the artist involved here. This is I enjoyed this a lot, and thank you. And hopefully you enjoyed my video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.